Thank you for calling the ASMR Help Desk. How may I help you today? You have reached our movie line, where we will tell you about the coming movie releases for summer 2021. We will be covering June, July, August, and September up through Labor Day. This is by no means an exhaustive list. Also, this is subject to change. A synopsis will be given when able. So, starting with Friday, June 4th, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, theatrical and HBO Max release. The rating is to be determined, but I think it's safe to say it's going to be R. And it stars Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. It reveals a chilling story of terror, murder, and unknown evil that shocked even experienced real-life paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. One of the most sensational cases from their files. It starts with the fight for the soul of a young boy, then takes them beyond everything they'd ever seen before, to mark the first time in U.S. history that a murder suspect would claim demonic possession as a defense. Spirit Untamed, rated PG, starring Isa Gonzalez and Jake Gyllenhaal. Lucky Prescott's life is changed forever when she moves from the city to a small frontier town and befriends a wild Mustang named Spirit. Friday, June 11th. In the Heights, theatrical and HBO Max release, rated PG-13, starring Lin-Manuel Miranda and Anthony Ramos. A feature film of the Broadway musical in which a bodega owner, Usnavi, has mixed feelings about closing his store and retiring to the Dominican Republic after inheriting his grandmother's fortune. Wednesday, June 16th. The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, rating to be determined, starring Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson, and Salma Hayek, and Antonio Banderas, and Morgan Freeman. The sequel to 2017's The Hitman's Bodyguard. 3 years after the events of the original film, bodyguard Michael Bryce continues his friendship with assassin Darius Kincaid as they embark on a new adventure to save Sonia, Darius's wife, from new threats. Friday, June 18th. Fatherhood, Netflix release, rated PG-13, starring Kevin Hart and Lil Ray Howery. That does not have a description. Luca, Disney Plus release, rated PG. Jacob Tremblay and Jake Dylan Grazier star. A coming-of-age tale set in the Italian Riviera. An unlikely friendship grows between a human and a sea monster disguised as a human. Pretty standard for Disney fare. Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway. Rated PG. Starring James Corden and Margot Robbie. In Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway, the lovable rogue is back. B. Thomas and the rabbits have created a makeshift family, but despite his best efforts, Peter can't seem to shake his mischievous reputation. Adventuring out of the garden, Peter finds himself in a world where his mischief is appreciated. But when his family risks everything to come looking for him, Peter must figure out what kind of bunny he wants to be. Friday, June 25th. F9. Fast and Furious 9, rated PG-13, starring Vin Diesel and John Cena. Cypher enlists the help of Jacob, Dom's younger brother, to take revenge on Dom and his team. I don't know who any of those people are. Oh, it's actually F9 The Fast Saga. And please forgive me, I'm not throwing shade on any fans of Fast and the Furious. I just haven't watched the series. I haven't got to it yet. Been busy working the help desk. So I'm sure it's a wonderful romp, but I don't know any of those people. Friday, June 30th. Zola, rated R, starring Taylor Page and Riley Keough. A stripper named Zola embarks on a road trip to Florida. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I'm not against a movie about a stripper. This is a movie that could go in many different directions. Now we move into July. Friday, July 2nd. The Boss Baby Family Business. Theatrical and Peacock release, because apparently Peacock is still a thing. Rated PG. Starring Alec Baldwin and John Flanagan, and James Marsden, Ava Longoria, and Lisa Kudrow. Alec Baldwin returns to headline The Boss Baby 2, the follow-up to DreamWorks' animation blockbuster animated comedy. That is not a synopsis. That is a description of the concept of Boss Baby Family Business. Apparently, the script is under lock and key. The Forever Purge. Rating to be determined. Ana de la Reguera and Levin Ramblin star. Following the record-breaking success of 2018's The First Purge, which became the highest-grossing film in the notorious horror series, Blumhouse Productions and Platinum Dunes returns with a terrifying new chapter, written by franchise creator and narrative mastermind James DeMonaco, writer and director of The Purge Anarchy, and The Purge Election Year. Again, that was not a synopsis, but a description of this movie's situation. Yet another script under lock and key. The Tomorrow War, Amazon Prime release, rated PG-13, starring Betty Gilpin and Chris Pratt, and Yvonne Strahovski, J.K. Simmons, and Sam Richardson. In the Tomorrow World, the world is stunned when a group of time travelers arrive from the year 2051 to deliver an urgent message. 30 years in the future, mankind is losing a global war against a deadly alien species. The only hope for survival is for soldiers and civilians from the present to be transported to the future and join the fight. Among those recruited is high school teacher and family man Dan Forrester, Pratt. Determined to save the world for his young daughter, Dan teams up with a brilliant scientist, Yvonne Strahovski, and his estranged father, J.K. Simmons, in a desperate quest to rewrite the fate of the planet. That sounds kind of interesting. Like Terminator if it were aliens instead of artificial intelligence. Friday, July 9th. Black Widow, theatrical and Disney Plus Premiere Access release. Rating to be determined. Starring Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Please forgive me. A film about Natasha Romanoff on her quests between the films Civil War and Infinity War. If you want to know more about this movie, you can just watch one of the 500 trailers that exist on YouTube. Friday, July 16th. Escape Room, Tournament of Champions, rated PG-13, starring Logan Miller and Taylor Russell. 6 people unwittingly find themselves locked in another series of escape rooms, slowly uncovering what they have in common to survive, and discovering they've all played the game before. Spooky. Space Jam, A New Legacy, theatrical and HBO Max release. Rating to be determined. LeBron James and Don Cheadle star. Plot unknown. It seems that this website does not know the plot. But I did watch the trailer, so I believe the plot is that LeBron's son gets sucked into the internet, I think, or into space, or both. And Don Cheadle captures him for some reason. Don't really know why. And challenges LeBron to a basketball game, I think, or something. And then Somehow LeBron gets dropped into the Warner Brothers universe. And then they have to play a basketball game. That's basically the gist. I'm looking forward to it. Friday, July 23rd. Hotel Transylvania, Transformania. Rating to be determined. Starring Andy Samberg and Selena Gomez. Oh, and Adam Sandler, of course. Drax Pack is back, like you've never seen them before. I doubt it. Hotel Transylvania, Transformania will be the final chapter of the successful franchise from Sony Pictures Animation. I doubt that as well. I doubt the veracity of this entire synopsis. Again, not a synopsis, just a description of the movie itself, not the plot. July 23rd. Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins. Rating to be determined. Starring Henry Golding, Samara Weaving. A G.I. Joe spin-off centered around the character of Snake Eyes. That was enlightening. Old. Rating to be determined. Starring Abby Lee and Thomas Mackenzie. Plot unknown, but it's directed by M. Night Shyamalan. So, expect a twist. I predict that the main character was actually an elderly person the entire time. Friday, July 30th. The Green Knight. Rating to be determined. Starring Dev Patel and Alicia Vikander. An epic fantasy adventure based on the timeless Arthurian legend. The Green Knight tells the story of Sir Gawain. Dev Patel. King Arthur's reckless and headstrong nephew, who embarks on a daring quest to confront the Green Knight, a gigantic emerald-skinned stranger and tester of men. Gawain contends with ghosts, giants, thieves, and schemers in what becomes a deeper journey to define his character and prove his worth in the eyes of his family and kingdom by facing the ultimate challenger. Sounds interesting. Jungle Cruise. Theatrical and Disney Plus Premier Access release. Rating to be determined. Starring Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt, Edgar Ramirez, Jack Whitehall, and Jesse Plemons. Based on Disneyland's theme park ride, where a small riverboat takes a group of travelers through a jungle filled with dangerous animals and reptiles, but with a supernatural element. I find it amusing that this sentence implies that reptiles are not animals. Stillwater. Rating to be determined. Starring Matt Damon and Abigail Breslin. Bill travels to France to help his daughter, who has been arrested for murder. Friday, August 6th. The Suicide Squad. Theatrical and HBO Max release. Rating to be determined. Starring Margot Robbie, Viola Davis, Idris Elba, John Cena, Jai Courtney, other folks. Plot unknown. The Suicide Squad is a group of villains from the DC universe, and they're kept in check because each of them has a device implanted that if they go rogue, the government can essentially just kill them if they do bad things. And I think the Joker's going to be in this one, the punk Joker that has tattoos and a grill. I think he's going to be in this one too, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that'll entice you to see it. The trailer's quite good. I would check it out. Friday, August 13th. Don't Breathe 2. Rating to be determined. Starring Stephen Lang. Plot unknown. You'll have to forgive me, these seem to have not much information. Free Guy. Rating to be determined. Starring Ryan Reynolds and Taika Waititi. Jodie Comer. Ryan Reynolds plays an NPC in a violent video game. NPC stands for non-playable character, if you didn't know that, but you probably did. Respect, rated PG-13, starring Jennifer Hudson and Forrest Whitaker. Biopic about the life of legendary diva Aretha Franklin. Friday, August 20th. The Night House, rated R, starring Rebecca Hall and Stacey Martin. Reeling from the unexpected death of her husband, Beth, played by Rebecca Hall, is left alone in the lakeside home he built for her. She tries as best she can to keep it together, but then nightmares come. Disturbing visions of a presence in the house calling to her, beckoning her with a ghostly allure. Against the advice of her friends, she begins digging into her husband's belongings, yearning for answers. What she finds are secrets both strange and disturbing, a mystery she's determined to unravel. I don't know if you've noticed, but the horror films seem to have a much more fleshed out synopsis. Paw Patrol, the movie, rating to be determined. My money would be on R, maybe NC-17. Starring Lily Bartlam and Raul Baneja. Plot unknown. Oh, apparently Dax Shepard is in this as well. And Jimmy Kimmel and Kim Kardashian West. An all-star cast. The Protégé. Rating to be determined. Starring Michael Keaton and Maggie Q. Samuel L. Jackson, Robert Patrick, and Patrick Malahide. A hacker mistakenly steals millions from the leader of a crime syndicate. That's a big whoops. Reminiscence, rated PG-13, theatrical and HBO Max release, starring Hugh Jackman and Rebecca Ferguson. Nick Bannister, played by Hugh Jackman, a private investigator of the mind, navigates the darkly alluring world of the past by helping his clients access lost memories, Living on the fringes of the sunken Miami coast, his life is forever changed when he takes on a new client, May, played by Rebecca Ferguson. A simple matter of lost and found becomes a dangerous obsession. As Bannister fights to find the truth about May's disappearance, he uncovers a violent conspiracy and must ultimately answer the question, how far would you go to hold on to the ones you love? A lot of movies ask that question. It's a good question. Friday, August 27th. The Beatles Get Back. Theatrical and Disney Plus release. Rating to be determined. It's a documentary starring John Lennon and Paul McCartney. I would imagine George Harrison and Ringo Starr star as well, but this site doesn't include them. George Martin should probably also be on that list. Acclaimed filmmaker Peter Jackson's The Beatles Get Back is a unique cinematic experience that takes audiences back in time to the Beatles' intimate recording sessions during a pivotal moment in music history. Candyman, rated R, starring Tony Todd and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. A quote-unquote spiritual sequel to the 1992 horror film Candyman that returns to the now gentrified Chicago neighborhood where the legend began. Spiritual sequel. Interesting. Is that a reboot? I don't know. Maybe they can't officially call it a sequel. Anyway. And our last weekend, Friday, September 3rd, has one release of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It's starring Simu Liu, Awkwafina, Tony Leung, Chi Huai, Michelle Yeoh, and Rosalind Chow. The plot is unknown, but it probably has to do with the Mandarin and the multiverse and other such things in the Marvel Universe. Well, that about covers the movies coming out in summer 2021. I hope you enjoyed this list and that it was relaxing for you. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to tell your friends. Thank you so much for calling, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. This show is part of the CIP network, where we inspire creativity one episode at a time.